Well, good afternoon, everyone. I was earlier today in Washington, D.C. at a technology event, and I said, I gotta run back home because there's something just as important, and that is art, in particular, performance art, particular music. And not that many people, not as many as I wish out there would appreciate the strength of performance art in the College of Liberal Arts at Purdue. And today we have a distinct pleasure to host Kristen Yeon, Professor Yun, who's been here for almost 2 years now. This is not my first time listening to her music. I listened to her recordings a few years before we were able to have her joining us as a faculty colleague at Purdue. And tonight we also have a real treat here, a very special instrument on which she will be playing. I was told the instrument is older than the Republic itself. It was made in Paris, 1766. We're in a special treat also because this is going to be, in addition to performing art, also a intellectual dialogue with all of you by Professor Yun at the intersection of AI and music. Now, I've heard horror stories from my musician friends. A lot of them do not like AI, and they think that AI do not fully understand the spirit of art, and the music they make are no good. But we also learned from Ian Reingold a few months ago that Professor Yun actually had an outstanding research proposal funded to study AI music interaction. So I cannot think of a more exciting way to wrap up the Westwood Lecture this academic year than this most special and exciting hour with Professor Yun. Welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me as a speaker for Westwood Lecture Series. I'm very honored and excited to talk about my research using AI in music performance. As you can see, I'm a cellist. Okay? Yeah, so I have been performing in many concerts in and out of school, in and out of country. But Purdue has wonderful faculty members. So as I'm surrounded by wonderful faculty members, I also have been working on merging some technology in music performance. So I would like to introduce 3 of my research topics today. First, music to video, AI use for audience. Second, evaluator and companion. AI's influence on music performers. Then robot cello, further application of AI using music performance. Before I talk about the first research, I would like to have a small experiment with you. So I'm going to play 2 very different pieces, actually part of pieces. Then while you listen to each of them, please imagine any images, relevant images, atmosphere, and emotions, and tell me later. So this is the first piece. is the second piece. So how was it? What kind of images did you think of for each piece? Anyone?
Happy and sad, energetic and more mellow.
Thank you for sharing. Yes. Very good. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Any other opinions?
The first one I hear structure, but jubilance.
That's right.
Joy.
Yeah. Yeah, joy. Yeah. How about second one?
A little darker.
A little darker. Very nice. Very nice. Any other?
The second is definitely somber. Made me think of decadent landscapes. You know, I don't know, like I'm thinking old Venetian houses, that kind of thing, a boat flowing by, something slow and darkish. And the other one instead was more pretty mountainous landscape.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. Yeah, very nice images. Yeah, great. Thank you. Yeah, so as you can see, individual emotion can be very subjective. However, we have some common sense goes on, right? Then can we see how AI perceive those two different music and what kind of images it generates? So this is first one. Then this is the second one.
I love this one.
Yeah.
I bet AI is working on Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Wi-Fi go. So those were generated in real time when AI was listening to music. So this is about our first research, music to beat. It is real-time image generation by AI in concert. So AI will listen to my playing, then analyze smaller elements, musical elements, then generate relevant images. How did it start? I always like infusing some other type of art in my performance. So sometimes I played with dancers dancing on the same stage like that. And some other times I projected relevant images in my concerts. Why would I do that? What would be the purpose?
Occupy different sensation channels.
Right, yeah, great, yeah.
I think you could try to express how you interpret the music in certain ways and kind of use a different medium to express that better so the audience has a better idea what you're feeling and how you interpret it.
That's right, yeah. So enhancing audiences' experience, right? Yeah, and entertaining them better. As AI is an emerging technology, I started to think, how about having AI generate those relevant images automatically? Then many students from various areas like music, art, engineering, science, and technology were interested in this project. So we have been working on this project from last spring. Then this is the brief process of the AI generation of images. So tools like basic pitch and various spectrograms will capture the musical elements such as key, rhythm, tempo, pitches, and so on. Then those features will be used as input to train neural network machine to detect the right information from piece, from music. Then the neural network machine will predict subgenre of the classical music I play, so be it Baroque, classical, romantic, or 20th century, and also emotional values. Then those predictions would form text prompt which describe music. Then we use those text prompt and image generation programs like Stable Diffusion. Then Stable Diffusion will update images while the music goes on. I would like to add some more details on this project. So we need to extract the features. We use various programs like MIDI and different types of spectrograms. So MIDI can detect various elements such as pitches, duration, and timing. It also can detect dynamics as well, but it detects slightly weaker the timbre sound quality. Then we use Fourier transform spectrogram to detect the intensity, frequency, and timing. But it doesn't detect very clearly the precise notes. So they help each other. Then also we use constant Q transform spectrogram. This detects frequency, common frequencies and notes. When it knows common frequencies and notes, then it can detect the chord progressions. From the chord progressions, it can also detect the key from the music. Then, as we experienced from the experiment at the beginning, certain emotions can be represented by common elements, right? For example, happy piece, what would be the key? Music fellows?
C major.
Major, that's right, major key usually, right? Yeah, very good, yeah. And how about tempo? Allegro, yeah, you know music very well. Very good, yeah. So more like a medium to fast, right? Yeah, and how about rhythm? So would that be shorter or longer? Shorter, right? To make the music a little more exciting. Yeah, of course, classical music is not this simple always. It's very complex, and there are many, many exceptions. However, we still need some common features to train the neural network machine to detect standard emotion. Then we wanted to quantify the emotional value. We used Russell's complex model of emotion and listed emotions in two axes of valence and arousal. In 1 to 9, valence means negativity or positivity of the emotion, and arousal means the intensity of the emotion. So number 1 means more like a calm and positive. Number 9 means negative and intensive, like hateful kind of feeling. Yeah, so we used a data set of songs with those labels to train the neural network machine to detect the range of the emotion. Then this is the example. While you listen to this one, maybe you can think this music can be a little more negative or positive, or the intensity as well. So was it negative or positive?
Positive.
Positive. Yeah, great, wonderful. Yeah, that's a good answer. Yeah, positive. Okay, some other answer? Negative? Yeah, it can be negative or positive, right? Yeah, it can be subjective, of course. Yeah, of course. And also AI is not really perfect yet, right? That's right, too. And how about intensity? Pretty intensive, right? Pretty intensive. So then let's see actually how this model perceive this music. As you can see from the red dot, so this model predicts this music has 5 points of valence and 5 points of arousal, which makes sense. It can be a little bit neutral, right? And how about this music then? So this model predicts the music with 2.5 valence and 2.5 point of arousal, as you can see from the red dot. Yeah, it makes sense, right? Then we wanted to have the right output of art corresponding to the emotion from music. So we trained this model to have the right outcome. So art is very similar to music. So there's certain emotions can be represented by common elements. So for example, excitement, happiness kind of feeling can be by warm colors, bright lightning, and straight lines. And calmness, serenity, relaxation kind of feeling can be with pastel shade, light blue, greens, and sparse touches. So we trained the machine to have the right outcome using those elements. Then, have you used any image generation program? Yeah, then probably you would know when we change the prompt just a little bit, and then the output is totally different. This is the example. So when we use mansion with waterfall and the wood, then it generates image, the very neutral image, picture like a neutral image. But when we use prompt like a beautiful mansion beside a waterfall and the woods by Joseph Dema matte painting, those two elements were randomly selected. Then it generates painting with some emotion going on, right? So somebody's mysterious and also some are dark. Yeah, so here the prompt engineering goes. So our team found this order of prompt: musical period, colors, artist, lighting, perspective, and style will generate the most representative image like this. So this is the example. Romantic classical music is musical period. Neutral and earthy tones, colors, in the style of Claude Monet, artist. Soft lighting, low intensity, lightning. Wide shot, perspective. Matte painting, style. They are randomly selected. Then it generates painting like this. This is the demo from last year October concert. So let's watch this. It also has the AI image generation real time. It still warms up. It takes time. So at that time, we were focusing on more genre classification. So as you can see from the images, it actually detects more Baroque style paintings, right? Those are our future work. Our paper, Visualize Music Using Generative Art, got accepted to IEEE conference in AI. So my colleagues will work on this in this conference. And we want to improve the accuracy of the model, of course. So we need larger data set and new features. And we want to make this image generation a little more interesting and entertaining. So we are trying to make these images a little more connected. So this image is more like not generated in real time, but so this will be more kind of our goal. So let's watch this one. So how is it? It's much more interesting, right? Yeah, so this will be our goal. So what will be the impact on musicians? Of course, audiences can enjoy informative and artistic images throughout the concert. And musicians can promote our concerts much better with this technology. Then not only younger generations, even adults can approach classical music better. Also, we can help hearing impaired people to appreciate music with those various images. So this is our second topic, evaluator and companion. Those are two tools we are developing to help string performers practice and performance in solo or ensemble. So let me ask you a question. Do you know any performer? Do you have any performer friends? Except me. Not me. Yeah. Great. What will be their everyday challenges in their job?
Well, in terms of practicing to try and figure out what you need to focus on to make better and what you don't.
That's great. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. What else?
Interpreting the score.
That's right. That too. Yeah, great. And any other?
But not necessarily every performance is well appreciated, where he or she is struggling to the light but still showing their art in the best way they can.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard, right? Yeah. Yeah. So those are the challenges, everyday challenges that we are thinking. So we need to learn new music constantly in short time, or bring back old music underhand in short time. According to research by National Endowment of Art, 1/3 of musicians are part-time. That means we need to balance our time between jobs very well. We are very busy, so we need very efficient practice time. Yeah, to actually improve actually the ones actually we really need to improve. Then when we practice for many hours for preparing important concerts, then we are in danger of injury. It's like a sports. Medical research says 76% of orchestra players have experienced some kind of injury. So it's very common, right? The injury can be minor or severe. Then when we practice with bigger group of people, the chamber music rehearsal, then we sometimes see missing performers due to time and place conflict. Then the rehearsals will not go very nicely, so it's not going to be productive. To solve this, first we are going to develop evaluator. Evaluator aims to help individual practice and performance. And what it does is, it will analyze the user's sound, compare it to the digitized score, and detect the deviations in rhythm, intonation, and dynamics. There are already some tools with those functions. However, we will make one difference by detecting incorrect postures using computer vision to prevent injury, because injuries are coming from incorrect postures sometimes. So this is the workflow of the evaluator. Using third-party app, sheet music will be converted into music XML file, which computer can understand. Then evaluator will process all the information from the score. Then evaluator also will process the user's sound. Then it will compare both. Then there will be some differences from the user's sound, right? Considering the music will be the perfect performance, then these differences would be inaccuracies, actually. So we will display inaccuracies like this, so digitized score. And users will play in front of phone camera. Then evaluator will detect the posture. Then it will compare to right trained model. Then it will also display the inaccuracies like this. So as you can see, the correct posture is overlaid by yellow lines, right? So that the users can follow. This is one demo for audio inaccuracy. So one of the team members is violinist. So he played Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star without any mistake. So let's listen to that first. Then evaluator shows all the notes, right? But probably he have played some notes a little bit sharp, so those are marked with orange colors. Then this time he played a wrong note on purpose. So let's listen to that first. Then evaluator shows that wrong note with the red color and supposed to be the right note with green color. Then he still played some notes a little bit sharp. Yeah, then actually he played pretty in tune, but those notes are marked as sharp, so the sensitivity we can control as well. Then computer vision to detect posture. We use 3 programs. To detect 21 notes from hands, we use media pipe, like this. And we use HRNet to detect 18 notes from the body skeleton. And YOLO V8 to detect the cello and bow. Media pipe and HRNet can detect the hidden part of body. So if I play cello like this, can you see my thumb? No, right? Yeah, so my thumb is hidden by other fingers and also the bow, but still media pipe can detect where it would be. So it's nice. So this is the demo, all 3 programs running in one frame. So as you can see, this detects both of my hands, where they are. Then it detects also where the body, the elbows are. But the HRNet is a little bit delayed, right? So we are still working on that. And also the YOLO V8 is detecting the bow and fingerboard, right? So both fingerboard, that angle is pretty important to make good sound. So we are focusing on that. And our next step is going to be training the machine to detect the right and wrong posture. Then companion is the second tool we are developing. It would play missing parts from the absent musicians in rehearsals. And it will follow tempo and also the musical nuances of human performers. And also it will respond in real time, the verbal instructions, like cello, quieter, like this. So this is the workflow. So we will have 2 inputs for this the companion. First one is recorded audio accompaniment, and second one is of course, user's input. Then those will be treated in central audio thread with buffer to control the volume and sound quality. Then this tool needs to detect where the user is playing. So we need beat detection technology. Then we need to align the recorded audio accompaniment to the user's sound. So we need time stretching technology as well. Of course, we need voice recognition thread. Then we are also working on dynamic and articulation control. So what will be the impact using those tools? Musicians, especially music students, will improve their skills in performance. Then when the instrument learning is more approachable using those kind of tools, then we may have a bigger instrument learning community, which is exciting. Then musicians in rural area can play chamber music without other human musicians. So this is our 3rd topic, robot cello. So we just started this topic, this research this semester, so it's still at the beginning stage. Our first goal is passing the Turing test for robot playing instrument. Turing test means testing robot, program, machine's intelligence. So behind the curtain, I'm going to play cello, then robot will play cello. Then audiences will figure out which one is sound from human and robot. If they cannot tell, then we consider this robot has passed the Turing test. And Our second goal is this robot will play the music it never had encountered. So why are we developing robot playing music instrument? Playing music instrument is very difficult. Actually, we need to train the ears, right? Ears to actually learn the control, a lot of control. Then how about for robot? For robot to press a button needs huge programming behind it. Then robot playing cello will need precise control for every aspect. So for sure, that will improve the future robotic research, and also it can be applicable to many other areas like rehabilitation, entertainment, and manufacturing, and so on. String instruments, as you can see, string instruments need two different actions, right, for hands. So right hand needs to play bow, and left hand needs to press down the strings. So coordinating those two different movements will be very challenging and interesting too. Among 4 string instruments, so violin, viola, cello, and bass. Bass is just too heavy and big to carry around. Violin and viola are smaller, so their movement, the playing movement, will be much subtle. But cello movement can be a little more defined. So cello is the right size for this research. We will use various research to train the robot. So we will use online data, including digitized score, audio and video recordings, and text. Our team is pretty experienced on collecting visual online data by using computer vision. So we are pretty confident on that. And we will use various sensors to measure the aspect of cello playing. So the pressing down, the pressure from the left hand, pressing down the strings, or bow pressure, bow weight, the bow angle, and speed, and so on. And this is our third goal. We will create an environment the robot can learn by itself 24/7 without human help. So this is our first approach, motion capture of instrument playing. So the other day, our team went to the Envision Center to capture the the cello playing the motion. So we got some data, and we are trying to transfer that data to robot, the simulating program. So I was wearing a hat and suit with various the sensors, and we had to attach some the sensors to one of the school cellos and bows. So let's watch this. This is a robot simulator program. Students are assembling the robot. So this will be the complete one, this one. And we are assembling the robot arm and also controller. Students are working hard. That's right, very fast. Then what will be the impact of this research? Of course, it will help robot technology. Then in a few years, you never know, we may be able to play chamber music with robot. Then as an educator, we may be able to recruit students for both music and technology, science, engineering. So I would like to acknowledge National Science Foundation to support our research. Also, the College of Liberal Arts create grant to support the Music to Beat project. I always appreciate the support from Roof School of Design Art Performance, College of Liberal Arts, and Music Department. Our music department started music major program 2 years ago, and we are growing very fast. And we are exploring various directions of music technology. And our new chair, Taeyoung Park, Dr. Taeyoung Park, is a very important role on that. I also appreciate Envision Center for us to use their facilities and gather some data. In this research team has Dr. Chen from Art and Design, Dr. Rauman from School of Management, Dr. Chen from Computer Graphics Technology, and Dr. Lu from ECE. I appreciate students from VIP team. So this vertically integrated project is undergrad research team with various backgrounds. As you can see, all my projects are very interdisciplinary, right? I also appreciate team leaders working very hard and managing the teams. 2 weeks ago, we had very good news. First, Purdue's basketball won top 2, right? Yay, very nice. And SK Hynix will build factory in West Lafayette. So they will produce memory chips for various technology, including AI. So this investment will solidify Purdue's global leadership in semiconductor and AI technology. To meet the global demand of AI talent, we need to recruit students in all the disciplines. So we will expect to meet students who would like to study AI in various areas, including music and art. Thank you.
Fascinating topic. A lot of questions, and I can't resist the temptation to be the first one to ask questions. This is abuse of power. I want to actually ask like 7 questions, but especially also composing music, interpreting music. But let me focus on the third part you highlighted there. So 2 questions. One is, normally human being would learn performing a particular instrument, as you said, over many years, usually not by watching somebody else, but by going through step by step from the very beginning, rather than by watching a performing artist doing it. So are you suggesting that the robots aided by AI and machine learning, they are able to directly observe and build a model which is this new way of learning? The second question is, part of the joy of human beings playing that no 2 times sound exactly the same. Human beings will have emotions, they'll have variations. And I assume you can do randomization so that the robots can also mimic variation part of it. But you would say you can listen to some recording and say, I can hear that's so and so. There's a certain style, right? Would the robot be able to add randomization to its performance and add a certain unique flavor of how this particular robots will always play?
Very good question, thank you. So we are at the beginning stage. So we will actually still develop research ideas. Yes, but actually it's really wonderful. So first, robot will we will imitate kind of how human learn the instrument playing. So we will use various the online resources, right? So music. And the robot should be able to actually read music by the training. And also imitating the human movement and so on. Yeah, and second question answer would be, yes, also we will somewhat imitate more like the humans playing, meaning, so if machine plays everything perfect, then it's not like a human, right? So human will play with some mistakes or some certain actually taste and so on. So we may actually mimic that as well, that part. Yeah, that's what we are trying to do.
So one of the things that you were talking about had to do with things that were quote unquote mistakes or analyzing what somebody had played and that it was a little bit sharp or a little bit flat or whatever. There's a famous experiment that was done in art, had to do with aesthetics and beauty, where somebody took all of these images of supermodels, right, or Cindy Crawford and whomever, back through the years, and compiled them in a computer to synthesize all of this into the absolute perfection of beauty. If you take all of these images of beautiful, and this was specifically women, but take all of these images of beautiful women's faces and compile them, you're going to arrive at the ultimately most beautiful face popular. And the image that came out was extremely bland because the things that we recognize as beauty sometimes are the imperfections, right? That the things that and so when Thelonious Monk plays Well You Mean slightly differently the next day, it's exciting for us as listeners because we haven't heard that specific mistake or variation before. And so I wonder about, President Chiang was talking about randomization, but at a certain point, I do have concerns about something sounding that's computer generated, sounding sterile, or sounding just too damn perfect without the humanity in the, what you call mistakes, but that are often the things that we absolutely love the most in a Miles Davis solo or something like this.
I see, I understand. Yeah, good question. So as performer, we actually pursue perfection, especially in intonation. Intonation should be really perfect. For string instrument for intonation is so difficult, right? It's not guitar, so it doesn't have the flat. So that means we need to actually really have the muscle memory on all the notes. So that's not easy. So that one will be helpful. And also for rhythm-wise, we can have a little bit of a variety for the expressing the musicianship, right, or musicality. So sometimes I play like da 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 or da da da, something like that. So it's different, right? Sorry, about my singing. Yeah. So those kind of things can be a little bit insensitive when we use that. So we can make actually that function a little bit insensitive, or we can even turn off that function. Yeah, so that actually we can still keep our creativity.
Have you thought about the idea that these robots will probably need specialists? Because it's one thing to take, 18th century cello, but they make electronic instruments that may be more responsive for a robot to play those instruments or give examples of those instruments as a teaching mechanism than a traditional cello. I mean, they make electric cello, but maybe have you thought about how instruments will be absorbed into this kind of structure?
Yeah. So we exclude so machine playing electronic instrument. So there is the piano player. Yeah, that's actually totally controlled by machine, right? Yeah, so we don't actually do that. So we are doing more like human shape, at least human, actually imitating actually human shape. Yeah, then, and could you actually elaborate your question one more time?
Well, I think that to make this more natural for a machine to play an instrument like cello, it seems to me it will take some kind of special cello to get the results you might actually want more easily. I mean, that's something to think about.
I see. Yeah, something to think of. Think of. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So thank you. Yeah, but we will try to make on usual cello, so normal cello. So if it's really hard to make it, then maybe we can try actually modifying the cello shape. But for now, we are pursuing.
take apart your beautiful eight.
Yeah, I would.
For that.
Yeah. So yeah.
So actually your presentation reminds me of a famous movie, Harmonious Mozart. And Mozart, young kid, is playing in the court of Austrian king. And this just reminds me of that. Sometimes, like if you draw a perfect piece, but then you just put a one small dot on the top here, you create an intentional imperfection. That imperfection is the genesis of the word beauty. And it is saying that perfection you can get in the path of beauty. And this is an interesting paradigm. We are learning all. I would love to hear your comment that potentially good accidents or imperfection, how they can be inserted in this development.
That's very good suggestion and question. Yeah, when we have the technology, base technology, we will try to implement so famous the performers, the performing style as well. So train actually with those performing videos and audios, so that actually if the users would like to follow that direction, for example, the Janusz Stalkers, my teacher, so playing the style, then I would actually just maybe mark like, oh, Janusz Stalker actually find that actually the performance style, then probably it can suggest, oh, you need to play this note a little bit longer or shorter, like this. And if the performer would like to just to be really creative without any actually the suggestions, we simply turn off some functions. Then they will do, or not using this. So I'm thinking more like this tool will be helpful for students. Yeah, especially, of course, it will help for the music, the performers, meaning actually the experts. However, more like a student, they need to develop the skills and also muscle memory. Then this tool will be pretty helpful.
This is just one experiment and not that you let different age groups listen to the same music and see if they create the same images. Because our experience built into what image creation, because our brain is a programming machine. And as the age groups, age 18, maybe 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and beyond, how we create images in the brain based on the exact same music could be an interesting experiment. Somebody may have already done this, but it could be worthwhile, I wonder.
That's very interesting, suggestion. Yeah, that would be good to actually really think of. Right now, we are not really so implementing that. Yeah, so, but it will be, very nice option. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
I was wondering, so this is all very interesting. I can see all kinds of directions in which it might go. I wanted to ask something with regard to the project showing art, particularly both because of the way that it presents art and also the way that you have the graph of intensity and mood, although you use it, of course, it's my mind at the moment. And that is, so the general question is how you have trained the computer or coded different things to be understood in different ways. So for example, the first example, the Beethoven, I'm not sure, the classical period example compared to the minor key Bach example, we have this sort of understanding often, particularly here, that major keys are happy, minor keys are sad, But even an example like the Vivaldi, it doesn't really always work, and then you have that's very much culturally situated, like you have lots and lots of klezmer tunes, which are, from weddings, they're happy, but they're mostly minor-ish modes. So my first question is how are you teaching, what are you teaching the computer with? And the second is, in terms of the context, how are you choosing or how is the computer being taught to choose images and how many of them? Because one of the things that I, as somebody who's consumed a lot of music appreciation and art appreciation textbooks, see is, first of all, that image that I was trying to figure out what it was is gone 5 seconds ago, and because they're going quite fast. And second, there's something that is clearly from like the 1960s is not what I expect. But even with your example that you showed, we're doing all things that were period appropriate. So how are you choosing the repertoire of images that it's drawing from in addition? There's a kind of a lot of stuff.
Right. The images will be just generated by AI, so we cannot really expect. However, we train the machine to generate, actually, if this is the happy feeling, at least part of the piece is happy, kind of, actually, the elements, actually, it detects actually elements from the happy music, like major key. Of course, minor key is possible. There are a lot of exceptions, but the common elements. So then it will generate a happy kind of the painting or images, like as you saw, the park and then bright light and those kind of things. And it will update while actually it listens to music. That means actually when it changes to minor part or actually some intensive part, then actually it will also update images following that. So it will not only stick to only one image, so it will actually just change. And yeah, some did. Yeah. So we can talk later. Yes. Yeah, sure.
Kristen, so I wonder if we're creating a brand new form of art. And when I say that, what I mean is, so when you demonstrated how the computer technology listened to your music and showed them works of art, visual art. So I wonder at one point, can that be reverse engineered so that you listen to a piece of technology listens to music and creates a work of art. And then if you extrapolate that out, so does an AI generated work of art create an AI generated work of dance or music, even theater? And then do you have art made by humans and art made by AI? There's a segue between the two, but is it a brand new horizon where we've never been before, and the AI is going to actually create this new understanding of what we mean by the term of art? I don't know if you can respond to that, I don't know if that's a question there, but it just struck me when I was watching this. Where does this lead, and where does the giant picture, are we changing what we mean by art?
Yeah, that's really the wide actually, and also thank you for your insight. Yeah, that's amazing. As far as I know, there are attempts, a lot of attempts actually, the making this the music from the image. Yeah, there are a lot. Yeah, then I'm sure actually there are some researches going on also actually making more like a script, and yeah, that I have heard too. And also making more like a theater kind of stories and also videos. Yeah, probably. Yeah, so it will be very interesting. But I think human will still want to see some creative things by human. Yeah, so we will not extinct, I think. Yeah. Yeah. If it's good answer, but anyway.
We have time for 2 more questions. So I'll go up and answer.
So my question would be, there are some beautiful limitations that human beings have physically and mentally. Like I'm writing a piece for cello, I have to know that the hand can't stretch so far to reach this double stop, or this triple stop's impossible. Or in terms of playing like a really difficult rhythm, or the nested tuplets might be impossible, right, for a human to play. The AI could theoretically avoid those limitations and have, things that are physically impossible. A human couldn't do them. Do you think you're going in that direction, where you could write for the robot to play things that a human being could not play? Or are you thinking limiting it to this is what humans are capable of playing?
Our goal is imitating how human will learn instrument. So we are more like limiting. And also if it plays like really the double stops like here and there, the human cannot play, then it's not really human, I think. It's not really musical. So yeah, I wouldn't go for that, but yeah, we will see. Mondi?
So thus far we're dealing with repertoire that benefits not only from hundreds of years of kind of cultural context and interpretation, but also is very easy to quantify in terms of duration, pitch, dynamics, so on and so forth. Do you see any kind of future where you're also incorporating music that maybe is not so easily quantifiable or does not benefit from that much interpretation? I'm thinking of music by like Penderecki or Terry Riley or Pauline Barrows even.
Yeah. So for which project actually would that be actually more for the first project, music to beat, or?
I mean, for the first project and the second project even, right? So there's music like Penderecki, of course, using lots of extended string techniques where we don't have a cultural context in terms of like what does a scratch tone mean, what does playing behind the bridge mean, what does an unpitched pizzicato mean, things like this, right? So is there do you see a future in terms of how this type of music kind of blends into these types of explorations of the AI?
Yeah, so for the second project, actually we are developing helping the musicians training, right? So of course, actually some 20th century music we will work on. I mean, well, I personally would like to prefer playing some unknown music in 20th century. Yeah, so I have been also collaborating with other faculty members, right? I'm playing his piece, and then I will play also Harry's piece. Yeah, so those actually music composers are alive, so it may be a little bit tricky to actually the talk actually about the copyright. Yes, when we practice, actually when we actually do digitizing the music. Yeah, so we may need to think of that, but we will start with more like old music. Yeah. So first, then we will avoid that copyright issue. Yeah, and the other question, for the first one, yeah. So I didn't actually explain about this, detecting the subgenre of the music. 20th century music was very, very difficult to make. I mean, because there are so many trends, right? Yeah, it's almost impossible. So the rate that AI can detect was 20%, something like that. Yeah, so it's more like just random, right? Yeah, so, but probably with more data set, maybe it may be possible we can increase a little bit to detect those music and express with various images. Yeah, so.
Well, I've been asked sometimes, well, what would human beings do then in the long distance into the future when machines can do so many other things? I have many possible answers, one of which is to use a not so fitting analogy. All kinds of machines, even the simplest kind, can move faster than human beings can run. That doesn't stop us from enjoying running. Well, thank you so much, Professor Yun, for this fascinating talk. Thanks for your